Good evening, welcome to Racing Club UK. We are bringing you live English language radio style commentary of Racing Club Avellaneda taking on Arsenal de Sarandi. It is week 3 live from Avellaneda in the Copa Liga Profesional. My name is Darren Paul. I am president of the filial Londres for Racing Club Avellaneda, as well as a basketball commentator and now this evening football commentator. Glad to have you along with us for a very important game in the context of this competition, of this group. Racing in Group A, along with Unión de Santa Fe, Atletico Tucumán, and of course Arsenal de Sarandi. Racing, despite how well they've played in continental competition, they are without a win so far in the Copa Liga Profesional. A heavy 4-1 defeat at home to Atletico Tucumán. As we have a reminder of the score there, 4-1. Martinez with the 1 goal for Racing, Carrera, Rodriguez, Acosta and Luna scoring for Atletico Tucumán. And a 2-0 loss last time out. Marquez and Luna with goals for Unión de Santa Fe. So that takes us to today's game. Appreciate your support there, Mauro. So we are waiting for both sides to take to the field. And let's just talk through who we have playing today. Firstly, for the visitors, Arsenal de Sarandi, they line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. In goal, Maximiliano Gagliardo. Back four from left to right of Emiliano Papa, Gaston Suso, Fabio Pereira, Mateo Carabajal. Their midfield, 2, Alejo Antilef and Jesus Sorere. A midfield 3 of Nicolas Castro, Jonathan Candia and Ramiro Luna. And up front, Lucas Albertengo, recently joined from Racing's close rivals, Independiente. Racing, a 4-1-2-3 lineup for them. Gabi Arias in goal, as always, the ever-dependable Eugenio Mena, Lucas Orban, Leonardo Segali, and Ivan Pichud, the back four. Leno Miranda will be sitting in the hole behind a midfield 2 of Alcaraz and Thiago Benega. Hector Fortoli and Walter Montoya out on the flanks with, of course, the captain, the leader, the legend, Licha Lopez up front. Racing with no fewer than 12 academy graduates in their squad today. And at the same time, Arsenal de Sarandi, they have a fair few themselves. Sergio Rondina's men. So what did Arsenal do last time out? They have kicked off their campaign quite well. They have a draw and then a loss last week, a late loss rather, to Atletico Tucumán, 1-2. Carabajal scored their goal. Mateo Carabajal, their fullback. Next up, they play Unión de Santa Fe, who they drew with on the opening game of competition. So we have Russ Morgan saying good evening. Good evening, Russ. Good evening to everybody, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. Thank you, as always, for the support, for everything that we're doing here at Racing Club UK. We are a couple of minutes away from kickoff as the Racing bench making their way to the bench. We are in, I say we, this is one of the few times I will say we in this broadcast, I promise. Racing are in a new kit, the newly launched pale blue or light blue, all light blue kit. Arsenal de Sarandi's kit is as yet unknown. So exciting times for all you kit enthusiasts out there, of which I am most certainly one of them. So like I said, Racing's form lately, not been amazing. That's just the truth of it. Domestically, at least. Of course, in continental competition, through to the next round of the Copa Libertadores, we'll be facing Flamengo, who have let go of their manager, or at least have lost their manager in the last few weeks, and our former Racing player, youth player, bit of a legend for us at the club, Zaracho, he he put a goal past them last weekend, which turned out to be the coach's final game in a 3-1 loss to Atletico Mineiro. So we have our match officials on the pitch, and we have Arsenal de Sarandi out in a, I can only use the word garish, purple with pink socks kit. You are not going to miss that. My goodness, what a uniform they have on. Their keeper, he is in gold. Gagliardo is rocking a gold jersey and black jogging pants. Remember last time we saw a keeper in Avellaneda in black jogging pants? It was that famous win over Independiente with just 9 players. Racing, they're out. Gagliardo resplendent in dark blue. The rest of the lineup in their pale blue change kits. And those of you who have been excited by Lisandro Lopez's hair, he's had a haircut, but he's not back to shaving it. So, as the formalities of the pre-game rituals coming to a close, both sides are on the field, and we are set for 90 minutes of what should be great football here in Avellaneda, in the Cilindro. Some call it the greatest stadium on earth. As we see comments coming in, get your comments in throughout the game. What do you make of the game? What are you seeing? What do you like? Vamos Racing, says Laura Simadoro, who is a huge part of course, the filial Londres. As always, if you want to join the filial, check us out on Twitter at RacingClubUK. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. We have our podcast with Nacho Neville, as he's become known, Nacho Tierno, and my good self. Can I say my good self? I just did. So, Arsenal and Racing, just moments away from the kickoff. We've got linesmen checking the nets, players taking their positions, ready for kickoff. La Guardia Imperial, banner behind the goal, pride of place. As we see Maximiliano Gagliardo looks a little bit nervous. Looks a bit nervous before this game. Now, a feature of the last 2 games for Racing is they've come up against goalkeepers who have absolutely, to take an ice hockey term, stood on their heads. Last week it was Sebastian Moschano, who we actually gave man of the match. Fantastic save after fantastic save. And he was the reason Unión de Santa Fe won that game of football last week. We are moments away from the kickoff as Trude Cristaldo and Emiliano Papa share some pleasantries. It will be Arsenal de Sarandi to kick off. They are shooting from, I don't know why I'm saying that, because we're currently looking down the pitch. If you want to watch this game with English language commentary, you absolutely can. If you are based in the UK and I think over most of the world, Fanatiz is your place to go. If you're in Argentina, then you've probably got a better idea of how you can watch it than I do. Arsenal kick us off. They're shooting from right to left in their purple, and immediately they're trying to get forward. The ball is put into the air. Nobody's quite got control of it yet. It's a foul. They know Miranda trying to get it clear, and he got undercutted. Again, Racing with playing a couple of the kids today. Or some of the younger players at least. As Racing playing it across the back 4. Patient build-up. That has been a hallmark of Racing of late. Patient and then quick. Slow, quick. As, again, Lucas Orban wasn't fancied in the last game. Still in Racing's half. Plenty of time on the ball. Now it's Miranda. Long ball downfield. Lisandro Lopez is in chase. Can he get it across? He squares it across, but it's gone out for a goal kick. My apologies. It's a corner. It did come off the Arsenal defender, so Racing 1 minute into the game already with a corner. As we see the replay, he did really well to get a touch, or get Gaston Suso to get a touch on that ball. And it will be the first corner of the game, goes the way of Racing Club de Avellaneda. Orban's in the area. It will be Montoya to deliver, hitting low, comfortably cleared only as far as the edge of the box. A volleyed effort. It was a foot race. The ball won out on that occasion. Arsenal with the goal kick. Racing starting positively though. Again, slowly building up from the back. Montoya, who was sat at the left back position, found the killer ball through. But so far, just 2 minutes gone in this one. You're listening to Racing Club live on the Racing Club UK YouTube or Facebook. Let us know what you make of the game throughout the game in the comments section down below. As Arsenal, they're trying to break through. Jonathan Candia was charging after it. There was a foul given in the build-up, so the referee has pulled play back. Let's see what the incident as. Yeah, it looks like Albertengo gets his feet tangled with Ivan Pichud. He goes down. Foul is awarded by our match official, Pablo Echevarria. So, free kick, very central position, about 30 yards from goal. There are 4 Racing men in the wall, 2 of those quite magnificent purple shirts in the wall, and then another Arsenal player set up a couple meters in front of the wall. Anything that they can do to obscure the view of Gabi Arias in this. It looks like it's going to be Sorere to take. As the referee is just having some words. Sorere will take, plays it short, put through. Albertengo gets the opener. And Arsenal de Sarandi lead on the road at Racing Club de Avellaneda. It is 1-0, a very cleverly worked goal for Arsenal. And it's the dream start for Lucas Albertengo, formerly of Independiente, the good rivals of Racing Club. Let's see this again. Sorere and a one-touch pass through, and then a one-touch finish from Albertengo. Perfectly executed. I mean, that is, a coach is going to be delighted with that. Rondina, exactly how he drew it up. I didn't see couldn't quite make out who had that flick on pass, but once again, Racing concede early on. Just 4 minutes gone into this game, and we are behind if you're a Racing fan. And of course, if you're an Asteralde Sarandi fan, and you are jumping for joy, as your team are in the lead. So, Racing trying to make things happen down the right-hand side. But a foul has been given, and it has gone the way of Arsenal. I think foul conceded by Ivan Pichud. As Sergio Rondina looks on. Still doesn't look too happy with Rondina, but it is early on. And again, he would have seen Racing's attacking performance last week. He knows that there are goals in this front line for Racing, unless his keeper, Gagliardo, has an absolute worldie like Moshano did last week. Racing trying to make something happen down the left-hand side, the far side, as we look at it. Lucas Orban, Sigali, trying to make things happen. Patient build-up from the back for Racing. That was a great goal from Arsenal de Sarandi. As now they're trying to come out the left themselves. Papa plays a good ball down the line. It's with Antilev. Antilev gets past his man. Still Antilev. He's got a player outside him. It's Albertengo. Albertengo, I think, may have even been offside. But that's been neatly picked up by Alcaraz for Racing. Only as far as Papa. But they have forced back over into their own half. Quick pass played downfield. That will be no foul. Play on, says the referee. As it's an Arsenal player down. But it's Arsenal in possession again. Sarandi. And the player is still writhing on the floor. And now the referee, Echevarria, goes over to check on the player down. I think that's Antilev, Alejo Antilev. Excuse me, that was Candia. So early on, again, 7 minutes in, Racing trail at home to Arsenal de Sarandi, 1-0. A very well worked goal from a free kick. Sarandi played it to one of his teammates. It may even have been Candia, who played a one-touch pass through ball to Lucas Albertengo, who neatly finished past the advancing Gabi Arias. Nothing much he could do. It's a very well worked team goal. As Racing on the right hand side, that's a heavily played pass straight out of play. Altamont Tuisha trying to match up with someone there as we see the play again. Who was that played the pass? Oh, it was Emiliano Papa who has the assist on the goal. Very well worked. Gabi Arias did what he could. He came out to it, came out to meet it. But in the end, Albertengo with the light touch, the gentle finish. Arsenal lead. As it's broken down in midfield again for Racing, and Arsenal looking to break. Hector Fertoli unable to win back possession. But a bit of sloppy play. Licha thought he was in for a second there. It goes right the way back to the keeper, Gagliardo. Clears it long. Headed away by Racing. Through ball. Licha one-on-one with the defender. The defender wins on that time. It was Pereira, but only as far as Hector Fertoli. Fertoli is dispossessed. And now it's Papa, who assisted the goal. But again, picked up in midfield. Miranda sending it forward. Again, every time there's a pass, there's a boot on it from Arsenal de Sarandi. They're swarming in numbers. They're already packing behind the ball. Currently 11 Arsenal players behind the ball. They've got their lead. They do not want to give it away this early. 9 minutes in. Racing trail 1-0 at home. They're patiently trying to find a way through. It's still being knocked around by the defenders. Ivan Pichud in possession. Pichud has space to run ahead of him. Now he's being closed down. Gives it back to Sigali. Dinks ball out to the left-hand side. Mena, who had an impressive game against Union. Oh, but that wasn't impressive at all. He's just handed possession straight back to Arsenal de Sarandi. Arsenal on the attack, and that's a foul. Play on, says the referee. Initially, I thought he was going to blow up. Square ball in, cleared away. Couldn't beat the first man, but Arsenal win it back with Emiliano Papa, which Nicolas Castro has it on the left-hand side now. Centers it. Gets it back from Candia. Castro, as Arias is there. He's been injured, or he's been hurt, at least, in that play. The referee has stopped, or has blown up. Not too sure if it's Arias' knee or his hands. That's the problem there, as we see it again. Castro gets past Pichud, and then he sort of just... Arias does enough, gets the ball away from danger, and he just gets collected a little bit. No menace in that at all. It's a long ball played forward by Pichud. An excellent crossfield ball. It's with Fertoli. Hector Fertoli's got defender one-on-one. Tries to square it. Licha gets a foot on it, but that's been defended well and cleared by Arsenal de Sarandi. They still lead. 11 minutes gone here in Avellaneda. And a light touch back to Arias from Sigali. Fortunately for Racing, Sarandi lost his footing, but an awful pass there. Nearly sees Candia in. Again, I don't know if it's the magnetism of those outrageous purple and pink shirts, but Racing are struggling to pick a pass through them right now. (1-0) Arsenal lead away from home here in Avellaneda, home of Racing Club. And again, Racing, patient build-up. Racing have gone from a bit of a changed team from last week's. No Matías Rojas right now. Miranda, he featured last week, had a couple of good moments, had a couple of tricky moments as well in the game. Gone out to the right flank now. Now the link-up play. Montoya hits it off Papa. In fact, as the referee has called that a handball against Emiliano Papa, who is brandishing his abdomen at the linesman furiously. That's a tough decision. It didn't even touch his hands, in fact. He got his arm up to protect his face. He's not in the penalty area, and it does hit his ribs. I think that's a really poor application of that particular rule. But it has worked in the advantage of Racing. They do have a free kick. It's about 10 yards up and then 6 yards out of the penalty area. So it's on the right-hand side of the box. Miranda swings it in. Oh, just wide. Headed on goal. Segali was down. Who got the header? I think it was Lucas Orban. Bullet header, but just wide. Racing's best chance of the game so far. As Gagliardo is going to get us back underway with a goal kick. Played short to Pereira. Long ball forward. And that's going to be a foul. A Racing ball. Pichud was bowled over there by Albertengo. And you're listening to live English radio style commentary of Racing Club Avellaneda versus Arsenal de Sarandi on the Racing Club UK YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for joining us as that goes out of play sloppily from Carlos Alcaraz. Tried to turned a bit too early, I think, actually, and just healed it out of play. If you're enjoying the broadcast, we'd really appreciate a subscription or a like or even just a comment in the comments below. It's all appreciated. If you're enjoying it and you think somebody else could enjoy it, make sure you share this broadcast with your friends, even with your enemies. As for Racing, trying to find that killer ball through the middle. But again, that link-up play not quite there between Licha and Alcaraz just now. It's with Alcaraz. Now Licha. He's got to play with him. Licha shoots in. Oh, good save. Hector Fertoli. Oh, just wide of the left-hand side. If he gets that on target, I think Gagliardo is beaten. Let's see it again. So a bit sloppy build-up. Licha puts quite a tame left-footed effort. Fertoli hits it first time. It's always trickling wide. Again, it's that same thing that we saw last week with Racing. They're shooting a little bit weak, not able to set themselves as they might want to. As Arsenal trying to go aerial. Albertengo, he's got the wrong side of the defender. He goes to ground, but no foul. Not even a peel from him as Eugenio Mena heads back to Gabi Arias. The Racing keeper, one of the best keepers on the continent. Don't let these recent scorelines have you thinking anything otherwise. He's an excellent keeper, but the Racing defenders have not been holding up their end of the bargain of late. As it is Arsenal. I mean, if it stays like this, Arsenal will be on course for their first victory in the Copa Liga Profesional, having lost to Atletico Tucumán and drawn with Unión de Santa Fe. Atletico Tucumán also beat Unión 2-1 yesterday. I need to fact check that one as Alcaraz drives into the area. Still Alcaraz, he's got it lost, tangled amongst his foot and amongst the purple shirts. Let's come back for Miranda. Back to Montoya now. Montoya down the right-hand side. Good ball in from Montoya into the area. Hector Fertoli can't quite get his head over the ball. And that has been cleared to safety. Well, not yet, but it will be now. Cleared to safety by Fabio Pereira. As it's been held up in midfield. Lucas Orban in a very advanced position. Still Orban. Orban looks a little bit lost there right now as he loses out on possession. And now Arsenal can break with one of Racing's centre-backs currently halfway up the pitch. Unable to do anything yet, Arsenal. They're just slowly advancing. Albertengo has it now. On the far right-hand side, it's with Luna. Good ball in from Albertengo, but nobody to meet it just yet. It goes right the way to Emiliano Papa. Edge of the area, cross in. Headed away, headed out for a corner by Eugenio Mena. Gandia was the target on that occasion. Good play by Arsenal de Sarandi. And this is where Racing have looked a little bit suspect in the last couple of games. On the counter-attack or during those transition periods, Arsenal looking to capitalise, especially with Lucas Orban. He did the good work initially, but then he lost out possession and there were passes on for him that he just didn't take. Didn't know quite who to choose. And ultimately, Racing are now defending a corner. Good ball into the penalty spot. Header just wide. It's a strong header. But it's always heading wide as Racing get back underway very quickly. As Ivan Alexis Pichud, some nickname him Cafu Cuatro. Racing, again, patiently playing at the back. They've got 11 purple shirts ahead of them. Looking to find any kind of opening. It's with Mena on the far left. Now they're trying to link up play. That's a nice ball through to Diago Benega. Benega gets the ball in. Who can reach it? Alcaraz! Oh, great save, Gagliardo! An amazing header by Diago Benega. The threat isn't over. Eugenio Mena. Good ball in. Alcaraz tries to get it again. But a fantastic save. Maximilia Gagliardo gets down low to his post. As that's just hit Lucas Orban, who's just up front again. How has Lucas Orban ended up there from the centre defensive position? Fantastic tackle, though. Good recovering tackle as Racing. Trying to get forward. Licha in the area. Great block tackle there by Suso. Danger's not gone. Headed away as far as Miranda. But a good hooking tackle there by Candia. Getting it away. And now Racing. Reset. Slow down. First time we've seen Bakasese all game up. Patrolling the sideline. He needs to get a mask that fits him, though, because his nose is absolutely not covered. That is not good mask etiquette. As Fertoli now centres it to Miranda, but that was a bit of a hospital pass from Fertoli. Ivan Pichud. Pichud has it. Oh, dink ball headed away by the Arsenal defender. And now Arsenal trying to make something happen with Candia, but Lucas Orban, who's, when he's been in his defensive position, has done a really good job so far in this game. I'm not going to hold anybody too accountable for that opening goal. We'll leave that one to Nacho Tierno for this week's Racing Club UK podcast, when Nachito Neville will break it all down for us. Make sure that you follow Racing Club UK Twitter to find out exactly when that live show will be happening. In fact, you can find out when it goes live. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you get that bell notification on YouTube. It will let you know exactly when we go live for any live commentaries or live podcast shows. As Racing, trying to make things happen. 21 minutes gone, out of play. Arsenal throw-in. We've still not seen that Thiago Banega header. Spectacularly saved by Maximilian Gagliardo. Because I need to see that again. Sergio Rondina, he must be feeling a little bit of pressure. He looks very cool on the sideline. As Racing trying to break through the midfield. Oh, wonderful through ball down the line by Alcaraz. Lisandro Lopez, he's got players with him. Licha. Good save, Gagliardo. It was, again, a somewhat tamely placed shot. I think it was always going wide, but Gagliardo doesn't want to risk it at all. He knows he's got a tricky customer with Licha Lopez ahead of him. He didn't quite put his foot around it like I think he would have liked to. That's what Racing concede a throw-in. About 30 yards up the pitch. Emiliano Papa. If you are a football, as that ball is cleared out for another throw-in. If you're a football kit fan, and a lot of us are, you want to see these Arsenal kits. They are quite something. As that's a volleyed effort, gone high, wide, and not particularly handsome. That was Alejo Antilef. As now we see it again. Great ball in. Banega arriving it was Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz arriving very late in the area. Gets up incredibly well. And a brilliant reaction save. Huge, strong hand save by Gagliardo, diving to his right-hand side. Gets an enormous palm on it. Sends it away from danger. Brilliant bit of goalkeeping. Great cross. And a really good header. That was overall brilliant football to watch. As Walter Montoya is fouled. He's clipped by Nicolas Castro, who's just joined Arsenal de Sarandi from San Martin de Tucumán for a free transfer. So we see Licha Lopez. So Racing with a free kick on near to the touchline on this right-hand side, about 40 yards from goal. Definitely crossing territory, not shooting territory, unless Lionel Miranda is about to pull off something quite spectacular. That's hooked in. Headed high, but Gagliardo all over the back of Licha. Collects it on the second occasion. Play on, says the referee. I think Thiago Banega was the target there, but there was a little bit too much height, a bit too much loop on that particular cross in. Needs a bit more pace for that sort of cross to be effective. That's Racing trying to make something happen down the far side, the left. It will be throwing around halfway. And again, please do let us know where you're listening from. If you're watching the game as well, give us a like, give us a comment, and maybe consider becoming a member of the filiale if you are based in the UK or spend a lot of time here at least. Lucas Orban looking at his options ahead of him. No high press from Independiente. And now, good pass through. And all of a sudden, with 2-3 passes, Racing are right in the danger zone. Good ball in from Pichoud. Heavy touch, though. And that's out of bounds. Thiago Banega tried to control it in the area. But a very heavy first touch. Takes it out of play. So, we are 25 minutes into the first half here from Avellaneda. Racing 0, Arsenal de Sarandi 1. Again, that 4th minute goal from Lucas Albertengo, the Independiente former striker. Well worked, and it is A flick on from Albertengo. It's a free kick to Arsenal de Sarandi. Nicolas Castro fouled. I think it was Leo Segali committing that foul. As Emiliano Papa acting like a point guard. It was Segali with a left his leg in ever so slightly, but you give a player the invitation and they are going to go right over it. As Gabi Arias marshalling his defense, he absolutely does not want a repeat of that first free kick. It's from a different area. This is on the far side, the top left corner of the area. So who stood over this? I think this might be Albertengo himself stood over this. So this has potential for a right-footed taker to try and curl it in at the near post, the left post, or it could be crossed into one of the 6 purple shirts. Stepped over to cross into the area, headed away by Lucas Orban. Wasn't the cleverly worked free kick that we saw earlier. Nico Castro just trying to put it into the area to find a head as Emiliano Papa takes the resulting throw-in. In line with the penalty, the edge of the area. Castro, high ball into the area. Should be dealt with, but it isn't. Oh, and it's blocked by Segali on the way through. An absolute thunderous strike from one of the Arsenal players. But cleared to danger. Cleared to safety, rather. But Castro, Papa. Back to Castro now. As, well won by Miranda. As Miranda, he sits down his man, Antilev. To take the basketball term, he broke his ankles, but they're still in their own half. Racing. Miranda, as one of the Arsenal players, is down. I think it might be Albertengo. It's not Albertengo. It's one of the defenders. So, taking a bit of a timeout now as the injury buggy drives onto the pitch. As Antilev getting some instruction from Sergio Rondina, my apologies. What have you made of the first half an hour of play here or thereabouts? 28 minutes, 40 seconds of action here from Avellaneda. Racing trailing to Arsenal de Sarandi, 1-0. And that is the end of the game as Pico will come on. Lionel Pico is going to enter the fray as Albertengo, it is, the goal scorer, will be replaced. Again, huge thanks for joining us here on the Racing Club UK Facebook and YouTube. As it is Albertengo, the goal scorer, injured. And again, no real surprise that we are seeing muscular injuries at this time, as there's a handball. Carabajal couldn't get his hand out of the way in time, the captain of Arsenal de Sarandi today. Again, his hand was away from his body, came at him at pace, but that is the rule. So Racing with a free kick on the far side, left-hand side, quite close to the touchline, roughly in line with the edge of the area. We see Lucas Orban in the box, Alcaraz as well, who had that fantastic header, brilliantly saved by Gagliardo. What can Racing do? Walter Montoya puts it in. Flicked on. Sky high. Racing try and get it goalward, but that will be another corner going the way of Racing. And make that their second corner of the game. And again, Montoya will take it again. He's got Licha Lopez to aim for in the box. Also, Lucas Orban, who he came very close with a header earlier in the game. It's played short, though, headed brilliantly away. It was by Sorrere. Absolutely booming header. A long way out of his goal is Gabi Arias. Just try and play it forward for Racing. Miranda. As Racing reset, as do Arsenal. And it's very clear to see the shape that they are playing. Arsenal de Sarandi. Oh, that's well picked up by Pico. And now they're trying to break. It's not quite a counter-attack. Racing have players back and they're able to get into the shape that they want defensively. But that's a really good bit of play there by Carabajal. But it's been won in midfield by Racing. As Diego Benega. Sorry, Alcaraz tried to drive forward with it. But it's been switched back to Arsenal. Castro in possession. Castro cuts in. Could he shoot on his right? He dinks it in. But it's cleared off the back of a Racing defender. Now coming up with it is Antelev. Antelev swings it into the area. Headed away by Mena. Just to Miranda. Can't get it properly clear. Emiliano Papa for Arsenal de Sarandi. In the final third. Chips it forward. It's Gandia. Soreire. And he is tackled cleanly. As Licha Lopez is fouled inside the centre circle. Racing trying to generate some kind of attacking impetus. As again, thank you for your comments. Arsenal win back possession. It goes all the way back to Gagliardo. We have people listening from all over the world, Argentina, the UK, and maybe some places in between. Let us know if you're listening, where you're listening from, what you're making of the game so far. 32 minutes gone. Racing 0. Arsenal de Sarandi 1. And remember, we're going to have 15 minutes of halftime as well. So you're going to need to get your comments in. What do you make of the game so far? We've got 10 minutes till halftime. 33 minutes gone. Racing 0. Arsenal 1. As the hosts. Again, patient play. Trying to build from the back. Fertoli. He's picked up a little bit of a knock. As a block tackle. Collected him just a little bit. Lucas Orban. On the left-hand side now. With Fertoli. Trying to link up there with Benega. Sigali. Ivan Pichud. Back to Sigali. And again, this game has been played so far as Alcaraz finds Montoya. Walter Montoya gets the ball in. It's come off the back of a defender, but it's still made its way to a dangerous area. Miranda, though, forced back. Gives it to Orban inside the Arsenal half. Now it's with Eugenio Mena. Back to Miranda. Racing just moving it around. Trying to find an option. But that's been picked off, that pass from Sigali. Goes back to Sigali. Now he tries his luck on the left-hand side. He's failed on the right. Mena. That's been headed away by Carabajal. And Racing quickly restart. Fertoli. Oh, tricky feet from Fertoli. Fertoli shot save by Gagliardo. And cleared away well downfield. But Miranda wins it back immediately for Racing. It's with Pichud on the right. Pichud cross in. That's too deep. As Gagliardo collects. And another great opportunity for Racing. But again, Maximiliano Gagliardo equal to it. As Fertoli just dancing through the defenders. Gets a shot on goal. Well saved by Gagliardo. And again, I'm not watching this game ahead of time. I'm not from the future. I told you. Gagliardo. He's going to need to have a good game in goal. So far, so good from Maximiliano Calderano. From Arsenal de Sarandi point of view. A couple of very good saves so far in this game. 10 minutes till halftime. 35 minutes played. Arsenal lead. Racing 1-0 in Avellaneda. Long ball over the top. Headed. Oh, just wide. A great effort. Hector Fertoli. Just Gagliardo losing it a little bit with his defenders. Just drives past the defender. Unable to get his header on target. Fabio Pereira hearing about it from Gagliardo. As Gagliardo takes the goal kick. Walter Montoya sends it forward. Licha holding up the play. And now Racing are going to move backwards. It goes all the way back to Gabi Arias. A pass that he dealt fairly easily there with from Miranda. Racing trying to make something, see if there are any options up the pitch as that pass has been picked off. And Candia gets it back. Oh, it's Candia. Looks like he's handled it. It's a goal for Arsenal de Sarandi. Even though it looked like Candia handled it, they lead 2-0. And that is absolutely terrible defending once again from Racing. Jonathan Candia from almost nothing. Miranda played a pass into the middle of the pitch. Player was dispossessed. And then a flick ball through. Looks like it's very sloppy, but it was a flicked pass back to him. Actually, I don't think he has handled it. It's bounced off his chest. It's bounced off the defender's chest. Miranda. I think Candy has done an amazing job there to keep his hand out of the way and actually not concede a free kick in the build-up to that goal. And once again, Racing trailing 2-0 to this time to Arsenal de Sarandi. And again, Racing, I think it's fair to say, have edged it so far in terms of play. But they've had 2 gilt-edged chances and they've taken them both because Racing's defenders, well, in the first one, couldn't pick up a tricky play. In the second, just same as last week, same as the week before, lose play in a dangerous area of the pitch. Took some freak bounces, this one. But it's Racing Club 0, Arsenal de Sarandi 2. And another game in Argentina that Racing have a bit of a mountain to climb. Good link-up play as Antilef has inadvertently injured, I think, Sigali. In fact, Antilef has a yellow card for it. Looks like Sigali's gone for a sliding challenge and he's received a bit of a stamp there from Antilef. Now, if that was intentional, it would be a red, of course, but it's still dangerous play, so he's been given a yellow card. Rondina is not happy. I see the player, so that looks like it's... So Sigali's really flown in there. Legs quite wide apart in the tackle. Looks like the first thing that Sigali's going to hit the ball with is going to be his knee or his thigh. He ends up getting Antilef's right boot into that knee-thigh area. Antilef is booked and Sigali is receiving treatment, but an injury to a defender is the absolute last thing that Racing need right now. As we see it again, as we see the goal again. Good ball. Candia does an amazing job keeping his hands out of the way, because the way it's bouncing around all over the place, you could have sworn that was going to be called for handball. And a little dancing celebration for him. As Lea Sigali, I think, is going to be okay to continue. He's been sprayed with the spray. Just played the free kick very gingerly. He's just stood huddled over. Now, with the amount of play the Racing defenders have had to do in terms of passing the ball, Orban's passed it to him and he's just huffed it away. Sigali surely cannot continue. He's going to try and tough it out for the next couple of minutes, but he is badly limping. He's holding his face. He's grimacing. I think he has to come off the field. Gabiardia still has it. The game's still going on. Arsenal not pressing, and the ball is now played out of bounds. That is worst case scenario, I think, for Racing, as Julio Romero comes into the chat. Vamos Independent. I'm not even going to finish what you've said there, Juli, but glad you're joining us. Glad you're listening. Hope you're enjoying it, my friend. Sigali, despite all of that, he's just said, no, I'm fine. You don't need to bring me off. And Arsenal very sportingly play the ball back to Racing. That was good of them, because I think for me they were in their rights to, carry on playing. As Racing looking to attack now. Orban finds Mena. Now they're trying to work it down the left with Fertoli. Fertoli with his tricky feet. It's with Orban. Sigali makes himself available for the pass, sends it straight back to Arias. Arias under pressure gets it cleared out to the left-hand side. Who can get there? Fertoli goes up for it. Hoofed away. And that's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, for Carabajal on the right-hand side. That's been headed away. Out of play as Racing. They're trailing at home. Gabi Arias collects that, gives it to Sigali. Miranda. Racing playing with very little tempo right now. Long ball over the top. Licha loses out the battle to Pereira. And now Racing trying to make Arsenal attacking down the right-hand side. This is a great long bursting run from Ramiro Luna. We've not seen too much from him. Orban, though, with a very cultured tackle. Orban played quite a good game. See what Nacho Tierno has to say next time on the Racing Club UK podcast. But for me, I've been quietly impressed, even though we are 2-0 down. I don't hold him accountable for the first goal necessarily. It was an incredibly well-worked move. And in terms of the second goal, I don't think anybody comes out of that one looking good. As Emiliano Papa takes the throw-in on the left-hand side, gets it back, heads it downfield. Arsenal trying to make something happen, but it's been won by Sigali. Lucas Orban has it. Racing coming down the right-hand side with Ivan Pichud, and that's been picked off that pass by Emiliano Papa. Now Arsenal can break. Ball hopefully put into the area by Gandia, but nobody on the end of it except for Gabi Arias. We're into the final minute of the first half. There will be a bit of added on time. We've had 2 goals. We've had injury stoppages. We've had a substitution. So I expect this referee to put on at least a minute. But again, the amount of time the ball is spent just knocking around the Racing back four, it's been quite slow at times. It has to be said. And Arsenal will be more than happy to go into half-time 2-0 to the good if they can continue this way. Fertoli, one of the smallest players on the pitch, but they are targeting with high balls. 2 minutes added time. I told you it would be at least a minute. Ivan Pichud under pressure, and he's gone down. Sigali, and he runs it out of play. So we're into the time added on. Ivan Pichud, he got clipped by Nicolas Castro. So he claims he's back in his defensive position. Oh, clever feet there by Antelev. Good ball in there. Oh, actually, I say that it was a bit overly strong from Nicolas Castro. Ramiro Luna won it out immediately, or initially, should I say. But it's a foul. Racing quickly restart. Now we're trying to move it down the right-hand side. Montoya. Oh, that is a strong challenge by Emiliano Papa. And again, The thing that we love about Argentine football, play on. Don't worry about it. There was no foul. He slid through. Don't worry about it. In Europe, the referee probably worries about it. Final minute of the 2 added on. Lea Segali gives it to Lucas Orban. Orban walking forward with it. Gives it to Eugenio Mena. Links up with Fertoli. Fertoli has it dinked away from him. Racing have a corner. Final 30 seconds of the first half. You're listening to Racing Club UK. Live English audio commentary of Racing Club Avellaneda taking on Arsenal de Sarandi. Mena. Good ball in. But that's going to be cleared away by Arsenal. That is the end of the first half. Racing Club de Avellaneda 0. Arsenal de Sarandi 2. And I think, except for the injury to Lucas Albertengo, I think that went about as well as you would hope a half could go for Arsenal de Sarandi. And for Racing, not so much. Not so much. Very slow, quite ponderous. Not particularly inspired at times. A lot of passing around the back four. Look, had some good moments. Of course, Carlos Alcaraz with that thumping header saved well by Gagliardo. And a few tame efforts from Hector Fertoli, which did bring about a good save by Gagliardo. But ultimately, quite a difficult start to things for Racing. But we are so grateful for all of you tuned in, listening, wherever you are, however you're listening, be it YouTube, Facebook. We want to just say thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to Racing Club UK YouTube if you haven't already. Give us a follow on Twitter. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram as well, so that you are always part of the conversation with Racing Club UK. English language racing coverage all over the world, really, wherever you are. So I'm going to take a very quick break. I just need to go and refill my water, and we will talk more Racing Club just in a couple of moments. We will be right back. So, welcome back to live coverage of Racing Club UK from Racing Club UK of Racing Club versus Arsenal de Sarandi. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening. Racing trailing 2-0 at halftime. Now is the opportunity. Now is the chance for you to get your comments in, get your thoughts in. Again, you could be part of the conversation, spark conversation, just like a lot of people have. We've got Mauro Debiassi, Vamos Racing, Russ Morgan, just greeting everybody a good evening. Laura Simodoro, Vamos Racing. Roque Daniel Maggio, Agante El Globo. ¿Quién va a ganar? Racing va a ganar, Adam. Laura, letting people know Racing will win. We've got people from Argentina. We've even got Independiente fans popping in, saying hello. Good on you. As it stands, Racing struggling a little. They are trailing at home 2-0 to Avellaneda Sarandi. Again, that first goal, very cleverly worked, very well worked goal. Scored by Lucas Albertengo, who unfortunately went down with that injury. So what do you make of the game? Again, get your thoughts in as we see a couple of the highlights of the first half. Hector Fertoli, as he was last week, fully in the action. Very important part of this Racing team, or has been over the last few weeks. We'll see how his impact on this team grows and changes. That fantastic header, of course, by Carlos Alcaraz. Forced a great save from Gagliardo. Got a very strong hand to it. And then again, Fertoli got a shot through. Well saved again. But that generating shots on goal, at least, hasn't been the big issue for Racing. The issue has been converting them, making something happen with those chances and striking the ball strongly enough. And of course, Arsenal's second goal, scored by Jonathan Candia. Very strange goal. Took a couple of awkward bounces. He was able to put it past, again, the onrushing Arias. The Sigali was convinced he had handled. In fact, he has done a brilliant job not to concede a free kick there. Some concern about Sigali. He took a boot to the knee from Alejo Antilev. So questions over whether he would continue. He did finish out the first half. Will be interesting to see if he makes it back for the second. Excuse me, just putting out a little tweet, bit of promotion for the second half. So, a couple of minutes until we resume the second half. And again, plenty of opportunity for you to get your thoughts in on what we've seen from that first half. Who's stood out? Who has impressed you? For me personally, I've been impressed from Racing with Carlos Alcaraz and Thiago Banega. They've been very positive. They've tried to make a lot happen in the midfield. And you know what? Why don't I just, during this half time, just to change things up a little bit, why don't I just, hey, how you doing? Darren Paul from Racing Club UK here. Why not? Why don't I talk to camera? There's the camera. Why don't I just talk to the camera for this little bit of half time? Again, if you are watching, get your comments in. Who do you think is going to win? It's currently Arsenal 2, Racing 0. Who is going to win? Who's impressed me? I've been impressed by Alcaraz and Thiago Banega. I think they've been quite instrumental in a lot of the positive things that have happened for Racing. Of course, the good chance from Alcaraz, but also just trying to make things happen in the midfield, trying to generate opportunities. Hector Fertoli as well. He had a couple of nice moments, his tricky footwork. He has struggled at times as well, though. Otto Montoya, He's put in a few crosses, but it's been largely anonymous. Licha Lopez seems a little bit like a man on an island. And I don't understand why the build-up is so slow, and then we just try and smash a ball over the top. I mean, explain it to me, especially when the person we're targeting is Hector Fertoli, who I think might be the smallest player on the pitch. Let me just check. What does Promiedos say? He's not the shortest. He's as tall as Licha. I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. Who is the shortest person on the pitch? Shortest person on the pitch is Emiliano Papa at 169 centimeters. There we go. There you go. If you didn't know that, now you do. So we are just a couple of moments away from the second half of Racing Arsenal, as the Arsenal subs are on the pitch, getting their warm-up in. Racing have their subs in the far corner just doing sprints, it looks like, as the two sides are slowly making their way back. And Jonathan Cristaldo will be, and Benjamin Garre will both be coming on for the second half. So that's exciting. And Cáceres. So 3 changes for Racing. 3 changes for Racing. So that's quite a radical switch. It's going to be interesting. Who are they coming on for? That is the question. They do not. Promiedos, a brilliant website. If you don't know Promiedos, highly recommend Promiedos to anybody who has even a passing interest in Argentine football. Vastly, massively recommend it. Also, by the way, just relaxing 7 times. Head to Campeón. So, again, during the second half, get your comments in. Let us know what you think, what you are seeing in this game. What are you enjoying about the game? What are you not enjoying about the game? So it's going to be interesting to see where this triple substitution. So last week I criticised Bakasese because he only used 3 substitutions all game. Now the way the substitutions work is you're allowed 5 changes, but you have to do them in 3 bundles, essentially. So you can do like 3-1-1 or 2-2-1 or 1-1-3, whatever. However you want to do it, but you can only make 3 sets of subs, if that makes sense, which I think it does. I don't. So we are, like I say, just a couple of minutes away from getting back to the second half. Action. Racing made a couple of changes. They are still not showing up on Promedios. And if Promiedos don't have it, then, in my opinion, it didn't happen. A couple of stats from the first half. Racing, 71% possession, 4 shots on goal, 10 shots in total, just 3 fouls committed and 3 corners. So that means that Arsenal had 29% possession. They had 2 shots on target. Guess what? They both went in. That is efficiency, if ever you did see it. They've had 5 total chances. They've committed 9 fouls, and they have secured and taken 1 corner. Both squads have the same average age, 29 years old, and Arsenal are 1 centimetre taller. So, as we are about to get underway for the second half, I've been saying that for a long time now, but finally we've got players back on the pitch. So I'm going to take my face away. Just a moment. As we have another comment. Thank you very much for your comments. All game long. Make sure you get comments in during the second half. As we're going to, boom, my face is gone. As we see, Benjamin Garret is on the pitch. As we are reminded of Atletico Tucuman's 4-1 victory over Racing Club de Avellaneda a couple of weeks ago. And shambolic defending of the first goal against Unión de Santa Fe. Again, if you want to see a breakdown of that goal and 2 goals so far from today's game, you've got to make sure that you're watching Racing Club UK podcast live on YouTube. And you will see Nacho Neville breaking things down. Racing have conceded the most goals of the Copa Liga Profesional with 8. Interestingly, Rosario Central, Lanús, Newell's all have conceded 7, and Defensor y Justicia have conceded 5. So Churi Cristaldo, Benjamin Garret, and Juan Cáceres are in the ball game. My assumption is Cáceres has come on for Sigali. No, Cáceres is in for Pichud. I suppose that makes sense, given his position. Churi Cristaldo is on alongside Lisandro Lopez. As Racing, I think, have changed shape just ever so slightly. But again, so Cáceres in for Pichud is the only confirmed change so far. Matthew Lowther, watching from York, UK. Glad to have English comms again of Argentine football. Thank you so much for your comment and for your support, Matthew. If you're enjoying it, why not give it a cheeky little share to any of those Facebook groups that are ever so popular these days with the youth and football fans everywhere. We're back underway. Walter Montoya has been replaced by Benjamin Garret. That's another confirmed change. And that must be Hector Fertoli has been replaced by Churi Cristaldo. But I'll wait for official confirmation as Racing rolling the dice, trying to change things up. No, Fertoli is still on the pitch. As Fertoli trying to get down the left-hand side. That ball is hooked away. And another criticism of Becasese last week from our very own Nacho Neville, Nacho Tierno, was that Becasese didn't have a plan B. He didn't change. When he saw a tactical switch by Unión de Santa Fe, he didn't change anything about the game himself. Well, we can't accuse him of that today. 3 changes at halftime, still with 2 changes left to go in the game as well. A bit of a change in shape, as this will be a free kick. Yes, a free kick for Arsenal de Sarandi. As players just stand around kind of dumbfounded, like it's a free kick. You know what one is. You've seen them before. Get a move on. As Cáceres is being told where to stand by the referee. A reminder, Racing trailing 0-2 to Arsenal de Sarandi. 2 minutes into the second half, Arsenal have a free kick on the very far side, their left. 2 players stood over it. It's been whipped in, left-footed. Oh, header flick on. And that's going to run out of play. That should be Arsenal ball. But Gabi Arias flew out of goal, was absolutely nowhere near the ball. Lucky that didn't take a touch from either side, really. It got a little flick-on header from one of the Racing defenders out of play for a throw-in. Arsenal still on the attack. Mateo Carabajal gets the throw-in and it's bounced off the back of Miranda. That goes out of play for a Racing goal kick, as we still haven't had confirmation, and I've still not been quite able to pick up who the other substitution is, so I do apologise for that. It's Eugenio Mena. Gets it up to Fertoli. Fertoli switches play to Sigali, who is moving around pretty well. So he doesn't appear to be feeling the effects of that earlier knock that he suffered at the hands of Alejo Antilef. As Racing revert back to what they've been doing a lot this game, is just slowly passing it around defenders in their own half. And then under-hitting passes to midfielders. Miranda did well there to keep the ball. He was under pressure from Candia. Sigali tries to feed it through. Again, Racing trying to move the ball forward. That's a heavy touch by Licha, but he turns it around the corner. That's an attempt on goal from Alcaraz. So I think that means that Thiago Benega, was replaced by Churi Cristaldo. Not exactly a like-for-like switch. So he will be playing up front. Garray playing behind him. Yep. So Churi will lead the line. So a bit of a change in formation and how Racing are going to attack this second half. But for all that change, they're currently playing very similar fashion. Let's see what happens now. Fertoli on the left-hand side. Fertoli trying to get past the fullback Carabajal, but he is not able to. It's a throw-in. Miranda sends it back. Lucas Orban. Miranda. High ball forward. Flicked on. Right into the hands of Gagliardo. As Maximiliano Gagliardo. He's had a fantastic game so far for Arsenal. Made a couple of brilliant saves. But the truth is, Racing have not made him. They have not made the Arsenal defence work nearly enough. And Arsenal, once again, waltzing up the pitch. Very slow tempo to this football game right now. Complete opposite story from the Union game the other day, where it was played at such a high physical tempo. Both sides really going for it. Racing playing just such a stagnant brand of football right now. And Arsenal, they're chipping away at territory. But if the game ended right now, they would be absolutely thrilled. Alcaraz, who's had the best Racing chance of the day, gives it away in midfield. Edge of the area, turned the corner, but no real power on the shot. Straight through to Gabi Arias. Miranda. Walking through in the midfield. Gives it to Eugenio Mena. Racing moving it around just a bit. But still unable to get that killer ball that they're looking for. Again, Fertoli is targeted. Again, Fertoli is not found. Mena plays it on the ground to Fertoli, but that's out of play. Heavy touch from Hector Fertoli. Long throw in there from Carabajal. As Miranda has space ahead of him. Miranda tries to send it out to the right wing. Finds Cáceres. Juan Cáceres. Oh, that's a good play. Garray too fast for his own good there. Lost out on possession. But it will be a fourth Racing corner. Substitute Benjamin Garre, the first time he's touched the ball. And immediately he wins a corner for Racing Club de Avellaneda. Second half, you're listening to Racing Club UK coverage. As it's been hit high onto the penalty spot. Headed away well there by Arsenal. Eugenio Mena. It's all the way back with Cáceres at the centre defensive position. Hit long into the area. Again, headed down. Racing are not a team built for an aerial bombardment. That's Racing trying desperately to get it moving down the wings. But it's Arsenal de Sarandi. That one's blocked by Mena. And Fertoli. Good link-up play. Garre sends it back a long way back. And completely kills the play dead. Now it's Garre. Orban. Mena. Gives it back to Lucas Orban. There is just so many purple shirts that Racing are struggling to pinpoint anybody really that's going to make an incisive run or do something. And again, Fertoli is called upon. He's quickly surrounded. And Liga can't bring the ball down. But it's back with Lucas Orban. Back with safety. Racing trying to generate from their own half. Fertoli has a bank of purple in front of him, but he gets a high ball over to Garre, who just about keeps it in. The former Manchester City player. Miranda. Lucas Orban. He's got Mena out wide. He finds Mena now. Mena. Told to play on by the referee. Puts a tame cross in. Gets it back though. Racing building that possession. 71% possession they had at halftime. Miranda. Cáceres. Cáceres with the ball in. Flicked on header. Wide. Always going wide. Carlos Alcaraz was not able to get his head on that, but positive play from Racing. There was movement there. Cáceres wasn't able to generate the power on the header. I don't think Jonathan Churi Cristaldo would have been able to do much more with it either. Player coming in behind him. So why not go for it, young fella? You've already tested this keeper once with a brilliant header. Licha Lopez. Flick on. Oh, he's lost his footing, the defender. It's with Licha. Licha swarmed. Licha can't get the pass through. He had 4 purple shirts descend on him. And shorts. And pink socks. I promise you, if you are a football kit fan, you need to find a picture, if you're listening to this just on audio, of the Arsenal de Sarandi kit, away kit. It is a purple shirt, purple shorts, pink and white socks. It is incredible. Our Racing kit is also very beautiful. It's the pale blue or the sky blue kit. Light versus dark. And again, in Argentina, both teams can wear change colours and nobody seems to mind. Too bad. As Racing trying to make something happen down the right-hand side. Benjamin Garre. Oh, Garre just dances past his defender like he's not there. Emiliano Papa. Good ball in from Garre, but nobody on the end of it. Racing keep it alive on the right-hand side. Papa hits the deck. It's with Garre. Garre. Can he find a man? Oh, tricky footwork from Garre. Tries to link up with Cáceres. Cáceres sends it backwards. It's with Alcaraz. Alcaraz, oh, just too much on that for Cáceres. In fact, it will be Arsenal ball. I think Cáceres thought he'd taken a touch off one of the Arsenal players, but in fact, that was not the case. And it will be an Arsenal throw in. That was the best passage of play from Racing in quite some time. Becca Sese looks on. think we need to get Bakasese back in the tight-fitting suits rather than the casual wear. Everything seems to go a little bit better for Racing when Bakasese strutting his stuff on the sidelines. Benjamin Garre links up with Cáceres. Cáceres gets the ball in just at the nick of time. It's in the air, and it's been collected by Gagliardo. Licha was lurking, but again, the pass was slightly overhit from Cáceres. Or for Cáceres, should I say. And the ball played just a bit too close to the keeper. Racing still trail at home 2-0 to Arsenal de Sarandi. Those goals from Albertengo and Gandia. And if you're a set-piece fan, you want to see the Albertengo goal. Brilliant 3 touches from free kick to goal. But a very smooth move straight from the training ground. Racing, if they want any chance of making it through to the championship, or the winner's bracket as I refer to it, they need to win this game. Otherwise, they will almost certainly be finishing bottom 2 in this group. And again, this isn't the big competition for Racing, as the ball is put deep into the area. Alcaraz, Licha Lopez. Oh, what a save. Gagliardo. And now Licha kicks Gagliardo in the shin, aiming for the ball. in the act of "you'll be fine," tries to roughly pull him back up, as no offside. Brilliant save by Gagliardo again. Headed down for Lisandro Lopez, who tries to stab it in. In fact, Gagliardo took no touch from Licha Lopez. Licha got all ball as, oh no, Emiliano Papa throws himself to the floor. In fact, Fabio Pereira throws himself to the floor, holding his face. This could be the end of the game for our Racing captain, Lisandro Lopez. Things are starting to get a little bit spicy here in Avellaneda. See what the referee has to say about things. He's got a card in his hand. It's a yellow card. I think that's for Licha. It is. I wonder if Pereira is also going to collect a yellow card when he collects himself and actually stands up. But Licha Lopez, yellow card for the Racing captain. I think Pereira might have been carded. We are waiting to see. Oh, no, definitely not. Pereira did absolutely nothing wrong there. So Licha jumped up for the header, was a wild flail of the arm, catches Pereira in the face. He hits the deck. He's still on the floor. Like, you've been slapped, mate. You've been slapped. It's not a nice time, but come on. As Gagliardo talking things over, as does Emiliano Papa with Licha Lopez. They seem to be getting on okay. Now Licha just drags Pereira to his feet. Licha still trying to talk. And now the opposition captain, Mateo Carabajal, talking over things. Well, Laura, I do hope you're talking about the game as opposed to our commentary here from Racing Club UK. Licha must calm down, says Laura. Simadoro. Oof. Actually, he has caught Fabio Pereira quite badly there. Fabio Pereira's bleeding from between his eyes. It didn't look like it was too much, but somehow he's been cut. You know, I don't know. Maybe if there are any wrestling fans watching, maybe you have a theory as to what happened. I couldn't say. As Racing trying to make something happen, but it's Arsenal putting a long ball forward. Orban rushed clearance, but it is cleared to the midfield. Carlos Ruiz Diaz says we need track players. Miranda, he gets himself back off the floor as it's a throw in for Arsenal round midway. 17 minutes into this second half. As Pereira rejoins the field. Doesn't even have a bandage on. As, oh dear. Something that, again, you'd expect to see carded. Oh, sorry, not carded, but blown up, but nothing given. As Gandia just flies through the back of Cáceres. Now Racing breaking with pace. Oh, brilliant recovery tackle there by Gaston Suso. Sliding in, clearing that through ball. Churi Cristaldo would have surely gone on to at least make Gagliardo work for it had he been allowed to get through one-on-one on that occasion. Racing with Fertoli on the left-hand side. Gives it to Eugenio Mena. Racing trying to generate something, but it's back with their centre backs. Orban gives it back to Sigali. As it's through and Garrego's down, he's told no foul. He has to get back up. As Carlos Ruiz Diaz comments, I lost 90 min of my life watching this game. Well, I hope you've at least enjoyed the commentary. We all appreciate your contribution in the comments. It has been if you're a Racing fan in particular, it's probably been a tough watch. If you're an Arsenal de Sarandi fan, you're probably quite happy with how the score is going. But again, this does come as very stark contrast to the game that we saw on Sunday evening with Union de Santa Fe. It was that was a tough watch at times from a Racing point of view, but from a football point of view, absolutely great fun to watch. As free kick comes in from Arsenal. There was a handball given. Papa sends it long. That's a terrible bit of defending by Cáceres, but in the end, no real danger. It goes out for a Arsenal de Sarandi corner. Second in the game, Racing have 4. Racing have had even more possession in the second half. Their possession count is now up to 74%. But that doesn't count for anything if you don't work the keeper and make it count. Good crossing, headed away, doesn't beat the first man. When I say good, it was lowish, had pace, but it wasn't able to beat the first man. Gagliardo, a long way out of his area, puts a great ball forward as Sigali down again. Garre muscled off the ball, but it will remain the Racing ball. As Sigali stays down. Now he's back to his feet. Speaking to our match official, Pablo Echevarria. And substitution. Coming into the game for Arsenal de Sarandi will be number 4, Marcos Abreliano, 22-year-old graduate of the youth team. He is replacing Ramiro Luna, who has done not a huge amount. They're making another change as well. So Arbelino is in the game. Nico Castro also being replaced. He's been replaced by Ramiro Balbuena, 20-year-old, again, graduate of the Arsenal de Sarandi youth system. So both sides bringing in young players from the academies for this game as Fertoli tries to link up with Licha, but it's overhit. And Arsenal are able to clear a long way up the pitch as that has come off Miranda. So Miranda was trying to shepherd the ball out of play for a Racing throw-in. But unfortunately for him, a young, hungry Ramiro Balbuena has forced it off of him. out of play, and Arsenal have a throw in a good area. Arsenal want a free kick. They're not about to get it from this match official, as Racing trying to come down. I say try to come down, but they're just slowly passing it laterally from side to side. And now Mena puts it out of play as Jonathan Candia remains down, clutching his lower back. And Racing still trail 2-0. Like Orban, it doesn't look like Orban really touches him. And if he does touch him, he appears to have touched him with, at best, his like hip or chest. Certainly not with a knee or an elbow. Maybe his hip into his lower back. So Racing trail 2-0 to Arsenal de Sarandi. As Orban has the ball at his feet. They have 20 minutes, Racing, to get something from this game. Currently pointless in the Copa Liga Profesional, as the Arsenal bench trying to send Candia back onto the field. As Emiliano Papa is going to take a throw in. He is listed as club captain, but he is not captain for today. Matteo Carabajal is captaining his side today. As Candia looking right as rain, back in the thick of things. As that pass expertly picked off there. I think that was by Suso, sprinting out of defence to intercept. But Cáceres keeps it alive for Racing. Churi Cristaldo slides in hard. Oh, sorry. Was that Cristaldo? I thought initially it was Cristaldo, but it may have been... Oh, it was Alcaraz. How on earth? How have I mistaken the number 26 and number 9? I do not know. I apologise. As Suso, I think that is, remains down. Now he's up. No card given by the official. I don't think a free kick was even given. It's just, it just remains a throw-in. So, match official not overly concerned with what they've just seen there. 25 minutes gone in this second half. Racing 0, Arsenal de Sarandi 2. Don't think Racing have had much in the way of opportunity chances in this second half. That's Licha. Terrible ball out wide, aiming for Eugenio Mena. Just got right underneath it. Sent it out of play for an Arsenal throw in at the right back position. To be taken now. Very long throw. Throws it a good 30 yards. And now on the run with it is Balbuena. Balbuena tries to cut inside, but his run is impeded by Orban, but he gets it back. Good job staying with it. Soraya gives it to Candia. Soraya, he's got options with him. Soraya surrounded by Racing bodies, but he's still able to keep it alive. It's now Emiliano Papa. Soraya feeds it through. Gets it back, but that's going to be cleared just about by Sigali. As a sliding challenge on Licha. And now Racing breaking through the middle. Alcaraz, he had 3 bodies ahead of him. He's giving it to Mena. Mena puts a ball in to Emiliano Papa, who heads it away. Volley. Nothing going there from Licha. And that was a really frustrated shot as Lucas Orban steps out of defence, intercepts the pass, drives forward. He's fouled and gets a free kick for Racing in a good area. He's currently just feeling his Achilles tendon, which is never a good thing. He's got a good kick in there. And he's still checking that right Achilles, which is not a good sign, but he's up and He'll be heading into the area for this free kick. As Licha Lopez just looks furious. Chori Cristaldo, no doubt, will be the target for this free kick. Only one player in the wall. It's probably too far out to have a shot. Miranda dinks it in. And I'm so glad Arsenal have done that. Let me explain what has just happened. That was offside because just as the ball was about to be hit, all the Arsenal players rushed forward as the Racing players rushed towards the goal. So, yeah, it was offside. Why more teams don't do that, I do not know. I will never know. I suppose if it doesn't work, you end up looking very foolish. But it just worked absolutely perfectly. Arsenal de Sarandi, they have a game plan and they have stuck to it like glue. They have had opportunities from set pieces. They have made them count. They have defended set pieces really very well. Racing have had a number of free kicks, at least 4 corners, but haven't been able to make any serious inroads or opportunities, rather, even from those dead ball situations. They have been defended very well. They've been managed very well by Sergio Rondina's team, and it's him and his technical staff are the reason for that. Racing have an opportunity. Long shot. Good save by Gagliano into the danger area. Fertoli will get there. Fertoli puts a shot on goal high, very over the bar. Had absolutely no business putting a foot on that at all. As we see, long dipping shot against Gagliari, and instead of patiently, and Churi Cristaldo says it all, instead of bringing the ball down and squaring it, Hector Fertoli just swings a leg at it, off balance, weak, over the bar, and Racing continue to lose 2-0 with 15 minutes to go in this game. Gabi Arias plays it out of the back. Long ball downfield. It's still in the midfield. Carlos Alcaraz. Garre. Racing in the midfield. In the final third of Arsenal's defence now. Garre. He's got the tricky footwork. He's got a good ball across the face of goal. Headed high into the air. It's still there. Fertoli. Mena gets a shot. Arsenal defender goes down. Referee hasn't stopped play. Hector Fertoli centres. Alcaraz. Alcaraz tries to find that killer ball. It's Churi Fernando. Oh, it's Churi. And it's offside. Churi Cristaldo offside. But that was great football. The youngster putting a bullet pass through to Churi Cristaldo, he is offside. Great flag by the linesman. Great finish by Churi, but it won't count. We were so close to a goal in this one. As the 17-year-old Carlos Alcaraz, who picked up a yellow card at some point, puts through a brilliant through ball. Brilliant pass. But unfortunately, Churi just strayed offside. As we are treated, shall we say, to the goals from Candia and Albertengo. As Arsenal are making another substitution. Coming into the game will be number 19. Leonardo Marchi, as Licha and the referee talk things over. I think it's Emiliano Papa coming off. Oh, no, sorry. No, it's not. It's double substitution. So Marchi has come into the game. I think he's come in for Antilef. He has indeed. And is it? So Alan Ruiz has checked in for Candia. Number 31, Alan Ruiz, just joined from Sporting Lisbon. So former teammate of Marcos Acuna, who himself left Sporting Lisbon this summer. He's now plying his trade in Sevilla, the former Racing star. Maybe again one day, who's to say? That's Racing trying to play with a bit more tempo, a bit more urgency. But a sloppy pass like that is not going to get it done as the ball is turned over in the midfield. As Suso is offside. Casteras gets it quickly to foot and back underway. Racing. With Orban. Again, if you're watching, listening, thank you so much for joining us with live coverage of Racing versus Arsenal de Sarandi. Make sure you give it a like, give it a comment. Please do share. Share it on your social media platforms that you are listening to Racing Club live Argentine football with English language commentary. And that's out of play. That will be Racing throw-in on the far side, the right-hand side. Racing still with substitutions to make. Eugenio Mena. As Liga is dispossessed and Arsenal can break. Alan Ruiz lost out possession and now Hector Fertoli. He has pressure from behind, but he had space to run. He gives it to Churi Cristaldo, who's playing very deep. Liga is the only player in the box for Racing now, Benjamin Garre. Garre just drifts inside, drops it off. Cristaldo just over with his snapshot effort. That's not the worst shot we've seen all day. It had power behind it, but he just leant back ever so slightly, stabbed under the ball somewhat, and goes harmlessly over the goal of Gagliardo. And again, the frustration etched onto the face of Lisandro Lopez, Racing's captain, one of Racing's great players, certainly of the last 30, 40 years. Came back after a great career in Europe and a spell in Brazil. Won the championship. Played in the most entertaining game of football I think I've ever seen in my life. The 6-3 win over Unión de Santa Fe. Famously. But now Racing trailing 2-0 at home to Arsenal de Sarandi. Arsenal happy to try and catch Racing on the break. Racing struggling to find opportunity. They've had the ball in the net once, but that was offside. Mena crossing as Gagliardo gets a touch on it. And he's told to get up by the referee. He's being told to get up by the referee. Ball comes back in. Headed Goldwood. No, it's been trickles to the left-hand side with Fertoli. Fertoli doesn't make its way in. That's going to be a corner kick to Racing. 5th corner kick in the game for Racing as Maximiliano Gagliardo is down. And that is all 5 substitutes made for Arsenal de Sarandi. What happens here? He goes for the ball, punches it, and he gets collected by his own man. No opposition player involved in that. He gets a palm to the face from one of his defenders, but he's back up. He seems to be okay. Ball in. Headed down, goalwards. Oh, it's no. What has that come off? Still Racing on the attack. It's in the area. Headed up and scooped away by Pereira. Did Mena just hit the crossbar? It looked like it was going goalward. Then all of a sudden, it's back into a place of safety as Gagliardo collects that long cross in. Let's see this again. Flick down, struck. Oh, it hits the crossbar. Eugenio Mena collects it. And in fact, it's taken a touch of Emiliano Papa's thigh on the way up to touching the crossbar. That is quite something. Racing again for the second week in succession have great opportunities, but have hit the crossbar again. This time, Emiliano Papa for Arsenal de Sarandi gets a touch on it. The touch it needed. Racing, less than 10 minutes to make something happen in this game. Not yet made a substitution as Lumax. YT says, hello, Lumax. Welcome to the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying it. If you are, and if you are enjoying live coverage of a Racing Club from the UK, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, do all those right things. Click the bell icon so you know when we go live for future videos. Racing trying to make something happen. Now they're playing with a bit of impetus. Sigali runs a long way out of goal. Sorry, out of defense, not out of goal. Getting ahead of myself there. As Suaire gets it out of play, but that will be a Racing throw-in. No sign of a substitution from Racing. They've got 2 more to make. As Alberto Meleki, I hope I've said your name correctly, says Racing can score. Very possibly. They've had 2 golden opportunities. They've had the ball in the net as a long ball played out to Mena on the left. Tries to link up with Fertoli. Finds Fertoli. Sorry, Churi Cristaldo. Now it's Fertoli. Lucas Orban switches play, but it's been hit long way behind Juan Cáceres. That's going to slow things down. Racing trailing 2-0 at home. 6 minutes left of normal time. As Miranda finds a purple shirt rather than a blue one, but it's back to Racing. Oh, it's been flicked down. Cleared away. Cleared away by Arsenal. It's a throw in near side, left hand side. Fertoli tries to link up with Licha. Fertoli still going. Oh, beautiful footwork from Fertoli, but that's been cleared by the defender. I think it was Emiliano Papa all the way to Gabi Arias, who's about 30 plus yards out of his goal. I think that's his favourite place to be on a football pitch. Oh, that way out of his goal. Lucas Orban staring at a wall of purple. Orban crosses into his own, into opposition territory. Hector Fertoli switches play. Benjamin Garre. He's a cultured player, but that was not a cultured pass. It gets past Miranda to a purple player, but Racing harrowing. Garre. That was a good recovery effort from Garre. He made the initial mistake, but he came right the width of the pitch, forces it out for a throw-in. It will be a throw-in for Arsenal de Sarandi. Racing. We're into 4 minutes left of the 90. Still no sign of a substitution. Even though I still think Racing have 2 changes left. Unless Nachito Tierno is going to tell us otherwise this week. Another rule that he's found. It's Lucas Orban. 3 minutes left to go. Licha takes a long shot effort. Fertoli takes a shot that's been blocked incredibly well, but I think illegally so by Gaston Suso. As there's about 3 balls on the pitch. You're listening to live English language commentary over Racing versus Arsenal de Sarandi. As it says on the screen there, Racing trailing 2-0 at home in Avellaneda. Surely not another week goes by without Racing scoring a goal. Another great goalkeeping performance, this by Maximiliano Gagliardo. Last week it was Sebastian Machano. As Racing, free kick central, about 38 to 40 yards out. Leonel Miranda stood over it. Lots of bodies to aim for in the box, or is he going to go direct himself? It's a 3-man wall. He plays it low, just wide of Gagliardo's goal. Had the keeper moving across goal, but ultimately that's a wasteful effort, as it didn't really... it was never coming back quite soon enough. He tried to curl it round, low round the wall. But he ran out of real estate as we're into the final 2 minutes, 20 seconds of Normal time. Gagliardo. Long goal kick. It's loose, but it's been collected by Arsenal de Sarandi. Long ball forward. That's going to be a throw-in for Racing on the right-back position. Still no change incoming, I don't think. 2 minutes left. Eugenio Mena. Leno Miranda. Racing getting bodies forward. Chudi Cristaldo on a run, but no pass was coming to him on that occasion. He's already had the ball in the net once, but he was fractionally offside. It was a good decision by the linesman. It's back with Miranda. Now it's with Sigali. He's still got movement in that forward line, especially from Chudi Cristaldo. But Racing with Orban. Now Miranda. Gives it to Licha Lopez. Put out wide. Garre. Garre has it. Puts a cross in. It's headed upwards and out of play. I think that's going to be Arsenal. Yep, it is a goal kick. Final minute. How long will the referee add? There was 2 minutes added in the first half. I don't think we've had quite the same level of stoppages in this second half. So I expect maybe 2 minutes added on. Wouldn't surprise me to see 3. And that's a foul on somebody by somebody. Truly, I'm not entirely sure. I think that's a Racing free kick. Lots of bodies on the floor. Very messy affair in midfield there. Chudi Cristaldo coming together with Marchi. Fertoli. Oh, wonderful sliding challenge there by Arbellino. The academy graduate, 22 years old, has a long ball over the top. Emiliano Bapa wins the race, but it will be a Racing throw-in deep into Arsenal territory. 5 minutes added on. 5 minutes added on for Racing. There is chance. There is time for them, but they have to go quick. Chudi Cristaldo has it in the area. Chipped up to Garre. Garre! Oh, shot high over the bar by Lionel Miranda. 5 minutes added on, but Miranda was not able to control his shot. As we approach full time, get your player of the game in. We like one from both teams. If you can find a player that has impressed you from both sides, let us know. Get it in the comment section down below. Again, we always like to award one for both teams if we can. Long ball forward, headed back. Racing. Who is attacking? That's a good question. Currently, Racing are trying to make it over halfway. It's Juan Cáceres. Gives it to Licha Lopez, who loses that possession. And now it's Arsenal in possession. And that will be Arsenal ball. Foul in the midfield by Lionel Sigali. So I think what we're going to see is Arsenal take their sweet time setting up to take this free kick. And truly, can you blame them? It's 2-0 Arsenal away in Avellaneda. It's played long into the corner, out of play. It will be a Racing throw-in. Again, we want your man of the match nominations in. Ideally, a player from both sides. Who's impressed you? Who stood out during this game? We've got 3 minutes left of the added 5. Racing have had that one opportunity in the added time as Mena decided instead of running it himself, he's going to pass it off to Miranda. Miranda crosses halfway. Orban. Miranda. Chudi Cristaldo gives it to Licha as a player hits the turf for Arsenal. Play on, but I do wonder if Licha is going to be sent off. Mateo Carabajal hits the turf, and it will be a second yellow card for Lisandro Lopez. His day is done. and you could have seen that coming a mile away. Laura Semadoro called it about half an hour ago when she said Lisandro must calm down. That was the first one. It was an incident with Fabio Pereira where they got a bit tangled and Lice ended up cutting Pereira. And then this one where he went in, studs up on Carabajal, can have absolutely no complaint about either yellow card, to be honest. I wondered if he would have got a red after the first incident. Mena on the left-hand side, Racing down to 10 men. But don't, as Pico also picks up a yellow card. As Churi Cristaldo trying to be a bit cute and clever with it. And it's a Racing throw-in. Final minute of the time added on. Garret can't get the ball into the area. Well defended. Still Garret. Garret driving into the area. Garret! And that's being guided towards goal. I think that's gone out for... Oh, no, it's been gathered in well by Gagliardo. I thought I saw the linesman point out the corner. 49 minutes are on the clock for the second half. Of course, Argentina, they have the split. They tell you the game in 45-minute chunks rather than one 90-minute whole. But I think that might be the end of the game as Carlos Ruiz's Arsenal shirt has been ripped to shreds there by the young Carlos Alcaraz, just 17 years old. Had a real impact for Racing, a really positive impact in this game. Alcaraz, ultimately, it won't be a winning impact. Gagliardo clears it long down pitch, out of play. Racing with a final roll of the dice. They've got 11 seconds. As the referee blows up for full time. Full time score from Avellaneda. Racing 0, Arsenal de Sarandi 2. Goals from Albertengo and Candia. This is Racing's third straight loss in the Copa Liga Profesional. Next up, they go away to Atletico Tucumán. I think that's on the 20th of November. The next game for Arsenal de Sarandi, they will host Unión de Santa Fe. And again, that will be next weekend. I'm just checking out Promiedos just to confirm. Round 4 will be Atletico Tucumán Racing Club. It will be 9:15 on the Friday. No, Thursday. Thursday night kickoff. So we may not be able to bring you that one live. Because if it's 9:15 and if that's local time, that will be about midnight. So we will bring you that the next game. If you want English language commentary, we will bring you that the next day. Definitely, we will see if this is local time, but I think that is a quarter past midnight kickoff, which for the sake of my neighbours, that's a little bit too loud, and I apologise for you there, but we will bring you as live commentary the next day so you can enjoy that to catch up on as the Arsenal players have a picture together on the pitch after the win. And you know what? Good luck to him. Fair play. You've just won in the Cilindro. Enjoy it, boys. Arsenal play Unión de Santa Fe 5:10 p.m. on Friday, the 20th of November, as the other clashes in Group A. In the other groups, Banfield have absolutely storming their group. 3 wins from 3. They are in a group with River Plate, Rosario Central, and Godoy Cruz. Banfield beat Rosario Central 4-2 yesterday. As River Plate, they are the next fixture. I think they kick off in about half an hour. They are playing against Godoy Cruz, the winless Godoy Cruz. Also, Leading their group, Gimnasia, Esgrima La Plata, San Lorenzo, Boca Juniors, and Colón, as well as, of course, Atletico Tucumán, who have a perfect 3 wins from 3 games played. So, if you've got a shout for your man of the match, get it in. We're going to spend a couple of minutes post-game chat of this game. For me, my player of the game for Arsenal de Sarandi for the victory, for the victors, that is a tough one. I think it might be Jesus Sorere. I think he was everywhere. He was very, very important in the win for Arsenal de Sarandi. Let me know what you think. Is that a wild, ridiculous pick? But I think Jesus Sorere had a very big impact, as did Jonathan Candia before he went off. Emiliano Papa as well. You could see quite a calm influence from him in the game. Cagliardo also made a couple of very timely saves, very good saves. So I think I've already just changed my pick. I think it is going to be Jonathan Candia for my man of the match or MVP. For Racing, I mean, this is... I'll go for the kid. I'll go for Alcaraz. You know, he had our best moment of the game. He had our best 2 moments of the game. The 3 ball to Churi Cristaldo, which was ever so slightly offside, but it was a wonderfully threaded pass. He had the header, and he was a really positive influence at just 17 years old. What a performance from that young man. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us live on Racing Club UK, on the YouTube, on the Facebook, however you've watched. Just a huge thank you to you. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media, on Twitter, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube that you press the subscribe button and even press that bell icon wherever it is. I think it's over there somewhere. Make sure you press that so you know when we go live. I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, we'll be back later in the week for Racing Club podcast. I'll talk to you again.